Oh boy, we got some news today. Lucasfilm Games came out and announced that they are working with Ubisoft to make an open world story driven Star Wars game. Now, we don't really have too many details beyond that, but they did give us a few details. This is huge because this is the first Star Wars game that's going to be made without EA. Because EA had the exclusive rights to publish all Star Wars games for like 7 years. And during that time, they made 4 Star Wars games, and one of them was a sequel. And none of those games were really very critically received, besides Fallen Order. I personally really enjoyed the first Battlefront. I know it had its problems, but I really enjoyed it. Battlefront 2, it was a mess, not a fan of that. I haven't played much of Squadrons, but the little bit I have played, it's not that great. And then there's not much to the game either. But Fallen Order I loved. I really did love Fallen Order. But that being said, like, man, to have the exclusive rights to a property like Star Wars and for 7 years and to squander it like that, to just make 4 games and one of them being a sequel, man, that's pathetic. So as much as I don't know if I'm too excited about Ubisoft taking doing this game, because Ubisoft's not taking over. It's not like all Star Wars games are with Ubisoft now. They'll be doing them with a bunch of different companies now. I don't know how excited I am about Ubisoft, because Ubisoft is kind of like EA light. There's just a lot of microtransactions. They release unfinished games that they do as basically games as a service. A lot of their games are very similar, especially through the past few years. It's open world game with microtransactions and RPG elements, and oh, go to this tower and it'll reveal an element of the map. Like, that's in every single Ubisoft game. So we'll see how this goes. But I am excited that it's at least different now. We're not just sticking with EA. So I'm excited to see how this goes. And I'm also excited with the fact that the possibilities of who they could go with. Because they talked about, in this like little sort of interview they released on the Star Wars website, they talked about how they want to work with a bunch of different companies. So it's not like, oh, we're just sticking with EA or sticking with Ubisoft. They're working with a bunch of different companies. But anyways, let's get into the details of this. The few details we got. It's going to be developed by Massive Entertainment, which is one of Ubisoft's developers. They've worked on a bunch of different Ubisoft games, but I believe they're primarily known for The Division. And they're going to be using their in-house engine as well. So we'll see how that goes. It's called the Snowdrop engine, which is the engine that they use on The Division. So I don't know how that'll work for Star Wars game. I played some of the first Division, didn't play any of the second. It was an okay game. Not really up my alley too much, so I didn't care for it that much. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. They again did say that they're going to continue working with EA, which I know some people be like, no, don't work with EA, but Fallen Order. That's the whole reason I'm like, okay, I'm happy about that, because it would suck if they're like, okay, we're never going to work with EA again, because like, please, Fallen Order was so good. Please give me a sequel. That's all I want. I don't care for EA to make any other Star Wars games. I don't know if DICE will ever touch Star Wars again because of how the mess of Battlefront 2. But at the same time, they did also save Battlefront 2 at the end there too. Like, they did a lot to fix that game. I still don't like the game, but the people that do play it talk about how much they fixed it and how it's way better than it was at launch. And DICE did a lot. So maybe they'll reward DICE by giving them another Star Wars game. Who knows? But I personally could not care less about anything EA does with Star Wars besides Fallen Order. Let Respawn do whatever Star Wars games they want. Respawn is the best developer over there at EA. It sucks that they're under EA, but they just, everything they do is pretty great, like really good. With the 2 Titanfall games, Apex Legends, Fallen Order, they're just constantly hitting it out of the park with their games. So anything Respawn wants to do with Star Wars, I'm in. But yeah, as far as this Ubisoft game, I'm imagining we'll get a bounty hunter game. I know 1313 forever ago got canceled, but I imagine we'll get a bounty hunter game because that's like something to capitalize on right now. Because that's what's cool right now. That's what everyone wants. I mean, years ago, everyone wanted 1313. Everyone wanted to play as Boba Fett. But now, you've got The Mandalorian. You got the Book of Boba Fett. Like, that's what's hot in Star Wars right now. That's what people want. You've got Fallen Order if you want your Jedi fix. Now give us an open world bounty hunter game. What I'm curious about with this bounty hunter game, though, is they say open world. Does open world mean that there'll be multiple planets that are, like, sort of many, like, sandboxes that you can go to? Or will it be one world? Like, you're just on Coruscant and that's it. Like, you just have a space on Coruscant you can go to, or maybe you're just on Tatooine or wherever they choose to go. That's what I'm curious about, is if this open world game will be, okay, it's open world as in you have multiple places to go to and they're like mini sandboxes, or it's open world as in you have just one planet you're on the entire time, but it's a really big area. We'll see. But yeah, that's what Ubisoft specializes in. Like, freaking every single one of their games is open world now. which kind of sucks because I'm a big Splinter Cell fan. I've wanted a Splinter Cell game forever, and Blacklist was actually really good. We haven't gotten a Splinter Cell game in so long, but it seems like that might be partially why they moved away from Splinter Cell, because they really only want to do open world stuff. So we'll see how this goes. They did say that they've spent about a year working with Ubisoft so far to make this game, so this isn't something that like just happened the other day. It just now got announced, but they've been working with Ubisoft for about a year. So that's interesting, and I hope we get these games soon. They also talked about how 2021 is going to be a big year for Lucasfilm games. We just got an Indiana Jones game announced the other day, coming from Machine Games, who are the guys that make the new Wolfenstein games. I really like the new Wolfenstein games. I personally thought of them, like, I believe I talked about it a while ago, how I thought Machine Games would be, I wish they would make a Republic Commando 2. Like, if I had like my dream, it would be to have Machine Games make a Republic Commando 2. I think they could do a good job with that, and now they're working on an Indiana Jones game, so it's like, maybe you could get them to make a Star Wars game, make a new Republic Commando. That'd be sick. That's never gonna happen. We're never getting Republic Commando 2, but I can dream. But yeah, it looks like they're going to be working with a bunch of different gaming studios and developers, which is cool, and I'm happy about that, and it's good because the more variety the better. It was so dumb of them to sell the rights to EA. EA squandered it. They didn't do anything, not like they should have. Again, Fallen Order was great, but they severely underperformed with Star Wars, and now I think Disney has learned from that, and they're going to just be giving it out to whoever has the best ideas, which I think is the way to go. And I'm interested to see how this goes. Again, they said 2021 is going to be a big year, so I doubt we'll get any actual games in 2021. But I'm assuming we'll get a bunch of announcements. Or who knows, maybe we'll get a game. Squadrons kind of was announced and then just released randomly. So maybe we'll get something like that. Maybe we will get a game, a Star Wars game this year. I doubt it, though. I feel like we'll get a bunch of announcements, but I don't think we'll really get any games actually coming out this year. But who knows? Yeah, that's about it, though. I wanted to talk about this because open world Star Wars game is something that, like, every Star Wars fan has wanted forever, and we were supposed to get with 1313, and then there was that one from, I think it was the Dead Space developers, and then EA just completely shut down that studio, so that game got canned. So hopefully Ubisoft keeps this game going on, because it seems like every time an open world Star Wars game gets announced, it just gets canned immediately. So hopefully this keeps going on. I'm excited. Hope it's good. But yeah, please let me know in the comments below what do you think about this announcement? Do you think it's good that Ubisoft's going to be making Star Wars games? What would you like it to be sort of about? Because personally, like I said, I think a bounty hunter game would be awesome. Like that would fit perfectly in an open world, going around hunting bounties and stuff like that. And also, it's what's hot right now with Mandalorian and Boba Fett being some of the most popular stuff in Star Wars right now. But yeah, I want to hear from you guys in the comments below, and I'll see you guys all later.